This is Dolynny TV, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, and welcome to tonight's edition of live Edmonton Oilers coverage on the channel as we get set for a chance to go three straight victories in a row for the first time this season as the Oilers look to open up a big-time game against the Chicago Blackhawks, a game in which, yes, I know the Hawks have been a little bit better than expected. They're 4-2 this season, but at the end of the day, it is the Chicago Blackhawks, and you should be able to go out there and make easy work of them, theoretically, if you are the Edmonton Oilers. So that's where it kind of sits for us tonight, is for the Oilers. You've got in net Alex Stalock, the former Oilers goaltender who never suited up for a game, confirmed to be starting. He's 3-1 and 1 on the 3-1 on the season with one shutout, a 2.09 goals against average, and a 938 save percentage. Going in net tonight for the Oilers, you've got Jack Campbell, who's 3-2, 362 goals against average, and an 895 save percentage. So a good performance tonight could push him above 900 for the first time in a long time all season. So here we go. For Jack Campbell, that would be a huge get if we could get there tonight. That is for sure, folks. So for Jack Campbell, obviously tonight's start against the Chicago Blackhawks, a tight one because you're going up against a 4-win club and you want to try and shut it down just like Stuart Skinner did last game out. Right now, Leon Draisaitl leading team points, 12 points for Draisaitl this season so far. Connor with 5 goals and Leon Draisaitl with 9 assists. So you know how that combos up. Both Stalock and Campbell, as mentioned, with 3 wins apiece. And for the Oilers, well, it looks like it will be Dylan Holloway slotting into the NHL lineup yet again. My prediction of sending Holloway down after he was healthy enough to go was off. I figured the Oilers would figure that one out, but they didn't today, and now Holloway will indeed suit up for the Oilers and go against the Chicago Blackhawks in what could be one of those games. He's in on the fourth line. He's going to have to try and create some energy, but also create some offense, being the most potent weapon on that line with Shore and Ryan. Likely going 12-6 are the Oilers tonight with the forward and D combos. So we might see a completely different game out of the Oilers than we have the past 2 games, just based on the fact of the matter being, for the Oilers, you could have one of those games where just the difference in how it looks out there on the ice changes up how things work for you. And that's one of those things we'll have to pay attention to tonight as us Oilers fans get set for what could be 3 in a row if we win tonight against the Chicago Blackhawks. Folks, I'm Tyson. This is Dolynny TV. Good evening and welcome into the channel tonight. It is my great pleasure to have you along for what will be a great broadcast. I see also that the Oilers Nation is hosting a live kind of watch party as well tonight, so I think hopefully my little play-by-play can differentiate me enough from them to give you an alternate option between the two. But folks, I'm not going to worry too much tonight. All I'm going to worry about tonight is simply put hoping the Oilers can get the job done to get us that big victory we need tonight. Go 5-3 on the season and really start climbing the NHL's Pacific Division as fast as humanly possible, because we have started out slow. Now we're a top 6 team in the Western Conference, and I mean, mind you, if everything goes according to plan and the big dogs lose tonight, right, obviously Vegas doesn't play tonight, nor does Calgary, but Dallas plays tonight. You've got Colorado plays tomorrow, Chicago plays tonight, and so do the Oilers. The Oilers, with a win in regulation, can hop up to 3rd in the Western Conference with a 5-3 record in 8 games played. So that wouldn't be too bad to see at all if the Oilers could go out there and do the job tonight and get up to that 3rd spot in the conference, right behind the Oilers' rival, the Calgary Flames. So, folks, tonight, as you tune in, what I want to make you aware of, I will not be showing the game due to copyright material. I cannot show it for you. Of course, other channels can, but they aren't getting paid by YouTube to do what I do. So, unfortunately for them, they can afford to be struck down and restart their channel and all that. Me, I got something here that I don't feel like getting struck down for. So, let's keep it clean, let's keep it good, and if that answers the questions, we're good to go. So, folks, if you're new to the channel as well, don't forget to potentially leave a like on the stream if you're enjoying. If you want to stick around and hang out for post games, discussions, stuff like that, you can hit that subscribe button as well. But it's Jack Campbell, Alex Stalock in net for the Oilers and Hawks tonight. And then we're going to see what happens between these two teams in 60 plus minutes of hockey tonight. Of course, this is still the worst part of everything for me when it comes down to it on Sportsnet now, is the simple fact of why do we have these fake commercial break in progress screens? I'd almost rather watch the commercials because it scares me when it goes dead silent on the stream. Anyway, that's where we find ourselves. So if I could not blank out there, we'd be good to go. Troy and Joseph, welcome in. Glad to have you along tonight as we're just starting this stream up and out, as we should be good to go. We had Gillies TV join us for last night's stream, just trying to throw you guys a different wrinkle on what we've been doing for the past little while here on the channel. So trying to work around and trying to figure out what the capabilities are in 2022 as opposed to what the capabilities were in 2021, as that's just kind of the fun part about it. There's always new advancements every single day, so you can always take it to gander and see what you can figure out. For the Oilers, I think this is going to be a big game offensively. That's kind of my feeling on it, is where I'm sitting, is the Oilers should be able to take this one home pretty well offensively and then kind of hand it to the Hawks the rest of the way home if they can have a good first period. Problem is, that was kind of the theory against Buffalo, and that's not what we saw. We ran into a hot goalie, and I mean, definition of a hot goalie right now would be, yes sirree, Alex Stalock of the Chicago Blackhawks. So Leon Draisaitl is actually tied with Jesper Bratt, Artemi Panarin, David Pastrnak, and Valeri Nichushkin for top spot in the NHL scoring right now. Connor McDavid tied for second right now with 11 points with Sidney Crosby, and then you got Kachuk, Zuccarello, Dominic Kubalik, and that's your top 10, 12, whatever it is. Stamkos's got 7 goals, Nichushkin's got 7, Svechnikov's got 7, and then Alex Tuch has 6, and that's your big time scorers, as everyone else kind of has 5, and we've already talked about all those guys. But yeah, it's one of those things for the Oilers tonight. If you can hand it a little bit to the Chicago Blackhawks, you can definitely do damage in those departments. Leon Draisaitl tied for the most assists in the NHL right now in game-winning goals. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins tied for second with 2. Shea Theodora plus 10 on the season. Max Comtois up there with 28 penalty minutes. Next is Yanni Hakpana with 19. So there's a lot of penalty minutes being doled out over there. And Matt Duchene with 18 as well. Really, Matt Duchene's taking 18. Linus Ullmark with 5 wins leads the way for the Boston Bruins. And then there's only so far 6 guys with a shutout in the NHL this season. Ville Husso, Sorokin, Reimer, Binnington, Hellebuck, and Logan Thompson as well. And then the goals against average, obviously Craig Anderson's having one heck of a start to the season. But the man right behind him in the save percentage department is none other than Stuart Skinner himself, who's having a pretty good start to the season and only trailing Ottinger and Anderson 4 goals against average. That's pretty exciting if you're a fan of the Oilers, to see Stewie doing what he is for the first 3 games he's played this season. That is for sure. All right, so here we go. Thomas, welcome in. Earl, welcome in. And Troy, welcome in. And enjoy yourself at the bar tonight. John, welcome in. And it's going to be interesting to see how that Detroit Red Wings team continues up over the next little bit here, because obviously they've started pretty well, I think, based on expectations, and hopefully for them they can continue to do well, because I think obviously folks in Detroit are very tired of playing the patience game. Not necessarily saying they aren't getting somewhere doing it, but they are ready to start winning hockey games a little bit more than they have lately over the past couple of years. And for the Red Wings too, they've lost 3 of their last 4, but they've picked up points in 3 of their last 4, and they're at 8 points, which puts them only 4 points out of first place right now in the East. So again, that's kind of the parity in the league, is The bottom 2 or 3 teams in each conference not doing so hot, but everybody else is very well within a few points. Obviously, that comes down to how many games have been played and stuff too. But right now, as it sits, is you go on a hot streak for the next week and a half, and you can climb the NHL standings to the top if you really want to. And that's the exciting part here for the Oilers. Is hopefully we're getting hot at the right time, and we're about to go on our climb and get things going. That's kind of where I'm going with things tonight. Hopefully we start climbing up those standings a little bit and we get it going to where we need those points to be. That's for sure. We've only live streamed for 10 minutes and already have an hour, 0.6 watched on the stream. Thank you folks for that. I'll keep you updated as we go along tonight because it would be nifty to see if we can crack 100 hours. My plan is to only live stream the first period. We'll see how things sit going into the first period intermission, but as it just currently stands, I've got to cook supper for myself still, and I also got a little bit of house duties to do. You know, you got fun with cats while you got to deal with things, right? So that's where we're sitting right now. It's Thursday night, and it's night before garbage night, so that's kind of where we have to find ourselves with a couple of household chores to do tonight and get things dealt with before garbage day tomorrow, I guess you could say, the polite way of saying what I need to say. As we currently sit, though, we are 2 minutes away from the channel I am watching, I think Sportsnet West, from flipping to the Oilers game and getting us set for tonight's Oilers action. It's the Oilers and the Hawks, bottom of the clock. That's the weird part. A 6:30 start tonight in Chicago, an old Junior B kind of start time because I think Chicago is only an hour ahead of Edmonton, so it's one of those weird ones where it's like, well, that's one of those starts. Or maybe it's 2 hours ahead and we're actually starting in a half hour earlier. I could not tell you, but I think it's only an hour ahead, so that's where we find ourselves. But look at this. They've got some pretty slick goals here for the start of the NHL season so far, and it's been pretty exciting kind of to see what the Buffalo Sabres are doing and a couple other teams have been doing so far this year. Just on one of them, our opponent tonight, right, is the Chicago Blackhawks, who are surprisingly 4-2. So that's something you got to watch for going into tonight's action. It's one of those things for us. It looks like we can take the Hawks and just beat down on them, but they're also 4-2 on the season, and they've got a goalie who's only allowed 2 goals against on average so far to start the year. So are we really going to beat up on the Hawks like we think we are, or are we going to have to go out there and earn it? And that's, of course, the trouble with the Oilers. Every time you think they're going to go out there and just beat up on a team, they don't go out there and earn it, and that usually is cause for concern because that's how you allow the first 2 or 3 goals of the game and put yourself out of it pretty early on. And that's a pretty sick save there against the Flyers by UC Saros on the goal line, paddling it away, the wherewithal and all that. But folks, we are at 6:30. We are just about ready to flip things over, which means I'm going to throw you an ad quickly, test that out, see if it works, and then we should be good to go for tonight's broadcast here between the Hawks and Oilers. Just a quick update of that numbers there as we'll see what we can kind of clutch up. 2.4 hours already, don't mind me. And now we have the Oilers broadcast live on my screen. We've got the Oilers intro taking place right now, and they're showing a bunch of old highlights as we get going for tonight's matchup between the Oilers and Hawks, which will be a big one for sure because, right, both teams 4 wins, and in the Western Conference, things are getting tight at the top. The Oilers would like to complicate matters by going out there and winning a game. Dylan Holloway back in action for the first time since that Buffalo game when Ilya Lyubushkin took him out with a big rock'em sock'em hockey hit. And hopefully for the Oilers, he is good to go and okay to return to action tonight. I think 100% he is. It's just a matter now of trying to get it done in NHL live action play. I don't know what the heck Gene Principe is wearing Oilers gloves for tonight, but so he's got the 200th career goal stick for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins on the set for this evening's start. So sticking with it, 4th goal of the season for Nuge, which is a big story for the Oilers so far this season, is Ryan Nugent-Hopkins really emerging out there and getting it going because it's his 13th NHL season this year. That's crazy to think. Is it his 13th? I think it's his 11th, boys. I think it's his 11th, right? I guess maybe it is his 13th. But yeah, for Nugent Hopkins, he is rocking and rolling. Dylan Holloway back after missing 4 games. So hopefully Dylan Holloway brings what we need to the table tonight on that fourth line. He'll be starting with Shore and Derek Ryan. And this guy's just staring right into the camera, holding the door open for the officials on the back end of the ice. And there we go, the Oilers hitting the ice. Of course, we'll have a double anthem again tonight. Gee, do I hate that. The double anthem kills me. It kills all momentum on the live stream every single time. But folks, welcome in. Good evening. I'm glad to have you along for tonight's call of the Oilers and Hawks. A big time matchup for both teams. Both looking for the 5th win of the season and both looking to get separation from each other in the NHL standings by climbing that much further, 2 points higher. So that's what we'll see if the Oilers can do tonight, and that's what we'll see if the Hawks can do tonight. I mean, we'll have fans cheering for both teams. Heck, I know one of my buddies having to go up against his mom tonight. That's one of those kind of weird ones for you, just how the old hockey world works, right? And is Nemo playing? I'm not sure who's in and out. I think, and I'd hope that it's Ryan Murray who's out, but it may very well be Marcus Niemelainen who's out of the lineup tonight. We'll find out here shortly. I haven't seen much in terms of Oilers news today. It's been a very quiet day. Of course, I had a very busy day at work, so we'll see what ends up happening here. But hopefully for the Oilers, they get what do you call it? I don't even know where I'm going. Sorry, I'm starting to read Twitter here and seeing what's going on. Is there anything here? Is there anything about the Oilers? Dylan Holloway draws in for the Oilers, and Ryan Murray is indeed a scratch. There you go. That's what you need to know. Ryan Murray is a scratch. That coming from Zach Lang of Oilers Nation. There it is. Okay, perfect. That's what I was looking for. That's what I was trying to get at. And hopefully Mr. Ryan Murray was a scratch. He is. So now the Oilers get to fill it out and see what Marcus Niemelainen can do in a 12-6 configuration. And it looks like we will have the national anthem here live from Chicago. We get set for ourselves a big time game. I got a little bit of military salute at the Hawks game tonight. And here we go. We will have the Canadian anthem, and then we'll... Alright, so we're off and running with tonight's broadcast. Jim Cornelison doing the anthems live from the United Center in Chicago. We are just that close to hockey getting underway tonight. Hopefully for the Oilers, that third line. You know what? The third line bit a goal last night. Hopefully the Oilers can go out there and bite another third line goal. If you're getting a goal every 2 or 3 games from the third line, you're going to go a lot of places if you're the Oilers this season, because depth scoring has always been an issue as long as I've covered this team. And if the Oilers can get that out of this third and fourth line tonight, that would be huge. Honestly, give me a chance to see Nuge, McDavid, and Hyman held pointless and give the third and fourth lines 2 goals apiece and let us romp the Hawks. That would be huge for sure. Because let me tell you, to see the Oilers and Hawks just kind of battle it out for that 5th win of the season each, and have the Oilers come away in big dramatic fashion with the depth scoring coming up big, light me up. That'd be huge if we could get it. So for the Oilers, that's kind of what I'm looking for tonight. And obviously too, don't let the big boys score the first goal. Go out there and score yourself the first goal if you're the depth lines, like we did last night. Really, yes, Pugliarvi with the tip in front on the Darnell Nurse shot scores us that big goal to start things off, and that was a huge goal for the Oilers all told. That's the one that really got us lit up and walking down to what was a big victory against the St. Louis Blues. So now tonight, hopefully go out there and re-follow it up and get the job done again tonight against the Chicago Blackhawks. That would be a big get if you're the Edmonton Oilers. We'll see what they can do tonight, because that's going to be the tough test of you're going up against a Chicago Hawks team who has come into this season choosing not to just roll over and die. You saw on the screen just there a moment ago that Jujhar Khaira is out there ready to start tonight's game for the Chicago Blackhawks against his former team, the Edmonton Oilers. So we'll see what ends up happening tonight for the Oilers and, of course, Jujhar Khaira's former team and new team. In this one, the Oilers and Hawks, as they are absolutely making a production of this U.S. national anthem right now. Caleb Jones, too, going up against his former NHL club, the Oilers. Caleb Jones now settling into year number 2 with the Chicago Blackhawks. We'll see what he gets out of tonight's game, if anything. Haven't heard much out of him this season so far, so for Caleb Jones, we'll see what he can do tonight as well. But looks like that national anthem is quite something. It looks like the big boxes are pretty empty up there in Chicago near the banners, so I'm not sure if that's normally the case at the United Center or if that's just something because of the expected outcomes for this season for the Chicago Blackhawks. I expect those will fill up quick if those seats are actually available to be seated in at the United Center. And this is Jim Cornelison is absolutely blazing the anthem here. I think this has been the most rousing rendition of the Star Spangled Banner I have seen on television so far this season, to be quite honest with you. So here we go. Let's go get this. And folks, can you hear me? If you can't hear me, let me know, because it keeps telling me that the audio bitrate of the stream is 0. So if you're having issues hearing me or you can't hear me at all, let me know. Let me put this, can everyone hear me, in the chat. As it is, Jack Campbell and Alex Stalock in net for the Oilers and Hawks tonight. 3-2-0 record for Jack Campbell, 3.62 goals against average, and a good save performance tonight would get him above 900 on the season in the save percentage department. And of course, Alex Stalock takes place in the Chicago Hawks net. A former Edmonton Oiler, and they've got his old Oilers headshot even still on for his stats, but they never indeed end up showing them. And we go right to the opening face-off. Here we go. Draisaitl versus Taves at center ice. Both lefty shots. Puck is down, and Taves wins it back. The veteran experience right there gets it done for Taves, who has been rumored to be coming to Edmonton. And right off the draw, it's kind of jumbled up in the neutral zone, and the Hawks will start in as Jujhar Khaira just flipped it in over the line. That goes onto the stick of Evan Bouchard, who flips it into the neutral zone. Bounces all the way into the Hawks' end, where they will just backhand it back in Oilers' possession in neutral. And this one tipped there by Yamamoto right onto the tape of Leon Draisaitl. Draisaitl looking back door, and it's tipped up and out of play by Connor Murphy. So that is right where it is. The Oilers look for that cross-seam stretch pass right away, but you know what? It does not end up going anywhere. Instead, off the stick of Murphy. Here's your Oilers line combinations for tonight. Nuge, McDavid, Hyman on the top line as Draisaitl draws in for another face-off. Kane, Draisaitl, Yamamoto. They tie up the first draw, and they will redo it. Fogle, McLeod, Puljujarvi, and then yes, indeed, it is Dylan Holloway who draws in with Devon Shore and Derek Ryan on the fourth line. That means we're going 12-6. Here's the Oilers getting across the blue line as it's Brett Kulak carrying it in. It was a nice try there from Kailer Yamamoto to keep that puck alive. He couldn't get it going, and that is it. That is all, as it'll go back here to the Oilers, where Evander Kane loads up. He's lumbering through the neutral zone, gets all the way into the offensive zone, fires a shot into the glove of Alex Stalock, and the Oilers have the first shot of the night right there on the glove of Alex Stalock, the former Edmonton Oilers goaltender, who's healed up now properly and is ready and available to play in the NHL, and doing so now with the Chicago Blackhawks. Athanasiou, Domi, Patrick Kane looks to be the top line for the Hawks this year. Khaira, Taves, and Radish, your second line. Third line, Kurashev, Dickinson, and Lafferty. And then who else do they got out there? Blackwell, Entwistle, and Reese Johnson out there. They acquired Entwistle from the Arizona Coyotes way back in the Marian Hossa trade. One of the first things I covered in terms of hockey way back in the day, as the Oilers looking to capitalize on a very weaker defense than they've been used to the past couple of games here in the Chicago Blackhawks lineup. So the Oilers chasing around in the offensive zone, and it's this third line causing chaos on the forecheck. They're preventing pucks from getting out. That is offside, though, and the Hawks will hit right in the skates Ceci, who just fires it in. And with 18-19 to go in this first period, the Hawks retreat in their own end, looking to get out, and it's now Hyman causing chaos in the zone as Nuge tips it over to McDavid, who couldn't glove it down without giving up glove pass, and touching up on the offside is Hyman, so now giving chase against Jones. He pressures him into turning it into the corner, and the Hawks again turn it over right high at their blue line, and the Oilers right out of the gate, doing exactly what they did to the Blues and Penguins in the latter half of that Penguins game, is just going hard on the forecheck and really making the team work to exit the zone. And now Barry and Niemelainen crunching both men behind the boards of the net, and there we go. Nugent Hopkins now crushing his man. Shot coming, and it's Campbell with the first save of the game, and he falls right on that puck. He didn't even know what to do. He bounced right twice in front of him, and he dropped the stick and just pounced on it like a cat pouncing on the laser, and he covers up the puck to freeze it with 17:35 to go in this first period. And look at this. The Oilers a couple of good chances in front, couldn't cash nothing there, but making Stalock move around. And now with 17:35 to go, the Oilers starting off on the right foot, 2 shots in 2.5 minutes to begin with. And Entwistle will take a draw against the Oilers' fourth line that features, of course, Dylan Holloway, his first action in 4 games after being injured against the Buffalo Sabres on the Ilya Lyubushkin Rock Your World hit that he suffered there in the neutral zone with his head down, kind of waiting to cut through and pick up that pass, I believe, from Warren Foegele at the time. Niemelainen rides his man into the boards, and it'll come back high to the point. The shot coming from the Hawks, blocked there by the stick of Derek Ryan. Now shot right in the slot, falling down on it, a Hawks player, and it goes wide of the net on the shot. Now Barry retrieves in the near side corner, far side corner, fired out by Niemelainen, tipped, and this is going to be an icing call, as Derek Ryan thought for a second it might not be, and then it indeed ends up being so. So the Hawks get another line change, and the Oilers head back down the ice for another face-off draw on their own end. And this one, a good block there by Derek Ryan, and then this one just fed in the middle, hits the man a little too high, and it actually does go off of the stick of Jack Campbell. So I thought it went wide, but he paddled it to the side. And 4-game winning streak, the longest since January 2022 for the Chicago Blackhawks, who started, I guess, the season 0-2. So I guess they're roaring to life now here all of a sudden, and the Oilers looking to prevent 5 in a row and go 3 in a row themselves. And Jack Campbell off the shot from the point will just corral it with 16:42 to go in the first period and hold on for another whistle. So the Oilers content to play the slow game. They're trying to slow it down, kind of speed it up in the offensive zone, but make sure the Hawks can't space them in the defensive zone, as teams have done to a good extent on the power play so far this season against the Oilers. That's a discussion we're going to have for another day. But 4-5 in second game of back-to-backs last season for the Oilers, 4-5-1. So they actually had only a 40 win percentage on the season last year in back-to-backs, but now starting your starter after getting a heck of a performance from your backup last night in Stuart Skinner, who is third best in goals against average in the NHL so far this season. Folks, welcome in. My name is Tyson. This is Dolynny TV. It is my great pleasure to have you along for tonight's broadcast. We got 16:29 to go in the first period. My plan is to live stream only the first period of play, so we'll see what ends up happening here, as the Oilers starting this game so far might entice me to go for a second period of play, but we'll all see what ends up being told here tonight against the Hawks, as this one's tipped in. 16:23 now left in the first period of play, as Connor McDavid in on the attack turns it up, as it's met there though by a Hawks player at the blue line, and they will chip it into the Oilers zone. And Darnell Nurse will go to Cody Ceci, who gets it up along the boards to Zach Hyman, back the other way into the middle. Now, well, that's Darnell Nurse playing off, and the Oilers looking to keep this in control. Nice tip pass, walking in, Cody Ceci fires it high and over top of the net, but the blast from the point on the rebound comes from Darnell Nurse, and the Hawks are all kinds of turnaround in their own end, allowing Connor McDavid to gain all kinds of speed and start getting shifty with it in the neutral kind of territory of the offensive zone just by that dot. And here's Darnell Nurse loading up, shot right into the belly of Stalock as he gloves it down for what was quite a little sequence there in the offensive zone for the Oilers. I mean, Connor McDavid in a non-dangerous area just kind of loads up the wheels, and That one goes up off of something, and then all of a sudden the blast from Darnell Nurse turns it around a little bit as Cody Ceci rings it off the bar by the looks of it. This one right here. Yeah, off the bar. All right. Cody Ceci, Leon Draisaitl drawn in now, but he will be waved out, and Evander Kane will come in and take the face-off draw for the Oilers against the Hawks, and it'll be one ahead there by Kyler Yamamoto, who takes out a stick of a player, and that will be moved by the Hawks. Patrick Kane out of his defensive zone, flipped up and in, and the Hawks will see the Oilers offside here. 15:24 to go, and this one will be flipped across the neutral zone, but again regained by Kyler Yamamoto, creating chaos, and that allows Leon Draisaitl onside to Evander Kane. Kane's got it high zone. He'll go to the near side boards. Leon Draisaitl looking for a passing option. He's got Kane in front, but Kane couldn't complete it, and now it's backing around to Leon Draisaitl, who goes down the ice all the way to Jack Campbell. Brett Kulak will take a second here to get things going as it's fired there, and it'll be moved by the Oilers into possession of the Hawks. Back the other way, 2-on-1, but the handedness incorrect. Sorry, I'm hearing folks upstairs, and this one's now a chance here for Leon Draisaitl to move the puck ahead to Evan Bouchard, who gets it all the way back to the point. The Hawks, though, jump on the puck before it escapes the zone. Blackwell back to the point, and now the shot may be coming here, but it will be well defended by Leon Draisaitl, and Evander Kane forcing it to the boards, and now Leon Draisaitl back the other way. Partial break against the Hawks, but he's too tired to carry it, and now it'll be Kane going, trying to flip it back to Draisaitl. Into possession it goes around the boards. The Oilers have it to Patrick Kane, though, and now the Hawks in their own end pick up the puck, leave it behind the net. They'll regroup and get things going here in this first period of play. 14 minutes to go. That was a nifty little sequence there from Leon Draisaitl to spring himself, but just not enough legs to get it done down the ice into a dangerous area. And now Ryan McLeod on the backtrack after the Hawks had cleared into the Oilers zone. Get it out, and the Hawks retreat back to the neutral, where they'll go across and flip it in at center back into the Oilers end. And Markus Niemelainen will fire this around the boards. He'll get it up, and now here comes Ryan McLeod onside somehow. Yes, Puljujarvi giving chase after scoring his first goal of the season. He hits his man into the boards, pins him there. Ryan McLeod trying to come up with the puck. So is Warren Foegele. Foegele indeed does, and he'll go back around the boards down to Puljujarvi, who gets to McLeod, but Ceci jumps on that puck after it was batted away from McLeod. And now again, Puljujarvi gets it right onto the tape of Foegele, and taken down is, yes, Puljujarvi trying to skate over top of the net. And the Oilers are just absolutely handling the Hawks in their own zone with this third line heavy hammer shift. Sorry, messing up the words. As McLeod still has it in the offensive zone. Darnell Nurse going down deep now. He's going to fling it to the front of the net. He can't get it going. Ceci flips it in, and Fogel's got it again behind the net, but there's the Hawks finally retrieving it in the slot area, and it will be to Darnell Nurse, who's got it with 12:39 to go. The Oilers don't generate a whole ton of shots early on, only 4-3 in favor of them so far, but some good moments in the offensive zone where they've run the Hawks around in their own end, and Ceci's got the puck at his own blue line. He hops it right onto the tape of Devon Shore, who's looking back to Derek Ryan, and Shore went back to the corner but couldn't keep control of the puck, and Caleb Jones moves it over onto the tape of Connor Murphy, who flips it in for the Hawks, and it's spilled into the Oilers zone, and looks like we will have a penalty coming up against Dylan Holloway for interference. And this is pretty big heavy hit there by Kane, smashing his man along the boards there. Didn't see that on TV. But there you go. That's the story of this period so far. The Oilers starting well, but just not getting a lot to the net yet. And when the sooner they do that, the sooner we will get things going in terms of the offense. Start directing it on net, and you should be able to start getting things going for sure. But For the Oilers, we won't mind too much at all as they're going to play a scoreless game in the first period. I don't even think we've had that so far this season, so I'd take a scoreless game in the first period if we could get that going. So far, 12 and a half minutes or 12 and a half hours watched on the stream. Thank you so much for that, folks. We had 36 hours watched yesterday, so that's about what I'm looking to try and crush here in this first period of play, is about 36 hours if we can. But let's see if we can't first get an Oilers goal out of tonight and see where we go from there. Welcome aboard. If you're just tuning in, I see the stream's kind of peaked up to 38. I think the last time I introduced myself, it was at 20. I'm Tyson, this Dolynny TV. I'm sure you're a returning viewer at this point, but if you're new to the channel, my pleasure to have you along. Hope you've been enjoying the play-by-play so far. If you're new to the channel, love to have you along and subscribe if you can. No pressure to. Hey, you know what? I know YouTube does a good enough job sending my content out to everybody, so I'm not too worried there. But if you want to add to the journey to 10,000 subscribers, I wouldn't mind that at all too much. But as it currently sits for the Oilers, a 0-0 game between them and the Hawks, and Alex Stalock 4 saves against his former team, the Edmonton Oilers. Dylan Holloway, 2 minutes of interference as he takes Lafferty into the boards, and both of them kind of get the worse for wear as neither of them really come up with a substantial kind of big hit there, as Holloway just stumbles after putting the shoulder into him. And now Jay Woodcroft's team, who has struggled mightily on the penalty kill, goes to the penalty kill. 73.3, tied for 26th in the NHL. The Blackhawks power play rank 33.3 second in the NHL, getting to work here. And of course I can think who would be number one based on what we've seen out of the Oilers so far this season, but that might be too much of a stretch after a couple of games going the past way. 11:48 to go in this first period, 1:36 to go in the power play. The Oilers so far have just kept the Hawks away from their own blue line. About 11:39 to go now in the first period as the Hawks will officially enter the zone and set up the attack back to the blue line. And that's Seth Jones going back to Jonathan Toews. Now the Oilers looking to fire this puck out of danger as Kane loaded up and got a good shot on net, but couldn't beat Jack Campbell there. And now Toews has it in the near side board, scrambled back to Kane. No shooting lane shot from Seth Jones, who Jack Campbell's been beat on a lot of long-range point bombs, so why not keep trying it? They're right there this season against him. Seth Jones controls at the blue line. Jonathan Toews walks down now to Patrick Kane, who will fire the shot blocked in front. And there you go. That's what I'm talking about. The Oilers getting it out of those high danger or chance areas. And with 46 seconds to go, we've got 10:51 left in the first period. 37 seconds left on the power play. All right. The Oilers will see it back to the blue line on the Hawks power play where they are controlling. Shot turned away by Jack Campbell, who's now got 5 saves on the game. And this one's flipped all the way in behind the net. Alex Stalock will see it going. 10:25 to go in the first period. 15 seconds left in the power play. And the Canes, well, take it, shoot it again. That was a crazy little sequence. Kane came in flying and looking for something to do right there. Short side on Jack Campbell high, and he just couldn't quite bite it. As that was a good load up from Patrick Kane. I didn't even have words for how quickly he was moving there. But that was quick there for sure. And that was a missed deflection. And how many deflections in front did Jonathan Toews have against the Oilers in the 2020 playoffs? Let me tell you. 4 seconds left in the power play now. 10:13 to go in the first period as Connor McDavid draws in to take the face-off. And it appears like it will be McDavid, Kane, and Holloway as a top-line unit just coming out of this power play penalty kill situation for the Oilers and Hawks, as the Oilers will try and get things going. But instead, the face-off was lost. Shot came in from the point. Jack Campbell freezes it up. And we have played exactly half of this first period scoreless. Patrick Kane, though, chasing the most points in history in the Blackhawks organization. Stan Mikita, though, Mr. Blackhawk right there, 1467 career. And Patrick Kane, 1185. Bobby Hull behind him at 1153. Patrick Kane looking to pile on the points this season too. We'll see what he can do. 9:58 to go in this first period. It's moved here by Tyson Barrie across to Marcus Niemelainen, who headmans and tips into the Oilers' offensive zone there by Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Actually, it's Evander Kane out there with McDavid and such, but Kane's going to fire a shot blocked. Rebound goes right onto the tape of Zach Hyman behind the net. He gets it to Connor McDavid. McDavid will go across. One-timer, scores. Zach Hyman off a beautiful feed from Connor McDavid. Back of the net, baby. And that's exactly what we want to see. The Oilers get the first goal, and all of a sudden, that is becoming a habit for the Oilers this season. Scoring that one on the beautiful one-timer side from Zach Hyman. And look at this puck. Connor McDavid opens up the Hawks defense and sharp angle shot one-timer. Zach Hyman, no doubt about it, puts it home. And just like that, the Oilers have themselves a 1-0 lead, beating Alex Stalock. It actually goes off of the blocker of Stalock as he's coming across by the looks of it. Zach Hyman's sixth shot, maybe? The Oilers' sixth shot, and Zach Hyman's shot goes back of the net. And there you go. You like to see that. That's a big-time goal for the Oilers. Started right. And that's the hard part. If you're going to start right, you need to score the first goal. That's kind of what we always say about the Oilers, and they've done that. Now it's about piling on, getting 2 or 3 in this first period, and really showing up on the Hawks' ice and starting to pound into them a little bit early on here as Ryan McLeod gets around the boards, and this one's going to go back behind the Hawks net, and the Oilers' third line instantly right on the attack as Puljujarvi big man's the player behind the net. That's what you like to see Puljujarvi. That's what he needs to be doing. And that looks good so far. The Oilers rolling 12-6 tonight. And Puljujarvi and company on that third line featured a little bit early on here. And they had one shift where they spent a lot of time in the offensive zone. And they'll head off for a line change. Get the big boy line of Draisaitl and Kane and Yamamoto over the boards. And here's Kane coming up with Draisaitl. Kane obviously out there. Takes a second to clue in sometimes, but Kane was out there with the top line because of having McDavid out there as well. But Nugent-Hopkins on the penalty kill is where that combo came in from. So here we go. Nice nifty play there by Yamamoto to outstretch the stick. Here's Draisaitl firing a shot. Saved by Stalock. And boy, oh boy, was that not comfortable at all for Stalock. That was a weird looking save, an old school looking save. And now Kane and Yamamoto load up here as Kane will fire the shot. It's blocked. Hyman's 4th of the season, McDavid's 7th assist, and how about this? Kane's 5th assist of the season. So Evander Kane up with 6 points to start the year. He is having a great season, and the Oilers' top 6 looks legit. We'll have our first commercial break of the game. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Tyson. This is Dolynny TV. Really appreciate you being along for the journey so far. The Oilers up 1-0 on the Hawks, and I am enjoying a nice evening of play-by-play. The Oilers actually playing a hockey game, and things are looking good so far. But what else do we got here? That's a big hit there, leveled by Bryson apparently. There's nothing else here. Yeah, so Hyman takes advantage of a small Stalock who plays at the top of his crease. Stalock can't get over to stop the one-timer by Hyman, and that's the big get for the Oilers. That one-timer scores the goal, and away you go. You've got the 1-0 lead, and for the Oilers, you want to keep adding to that as much as possible if you can. And you've got about 8 minutes to do it here in this first period of play. So for right now, we've alright started this stream not too bad so far. 488 views times 2.6 minutes watched divided by 60. My friends, we are pacing 2.5 hours watched on the stream. Thank you so much for that. It is absolutely rocking and rolling for me tonight here on the stream, and hopefully we can just crush off that 34 hours that we need on the stream tonight, and then all of a sudden today is better than yesterday all told. We're off to what will be a good start to the weekend. It's Battle of Alberta on Saturday night, but folks, I'll be again second time this month over at my friend's house, hanging out, enjoying a party, house party, and just chilling and watching the Battle of Alberta while everybody grabs my shoulders, jostles me, and razzes me up, especially if the Flames are winning. But that one was a blast to watch, that's for sure. And this season so far in the first period, Jack Campbell has absolutely struggled with an .862 save percentage and 9 goals against, almost 2 per game so far this season in the first period. And right now, he's started this game a lot better, right? We're through more than 10 minutes, and now the Sportsnet broadcast having all kinds of trouble. But we're sitting here with Zach Hyman scoring the first goal. The Oilers haven't played 12 and a half minutes of this game scoreless in their net. So that's where we want to see things continue. And this is now played ahead by Marcus Niemelainen, ripped off the boards but turned over. Jack Campbell out to play it. He'll rope it along the wall, and that will get out into the neutral zone where it is Dylan Holloway's line, who will feature a little bit more, I think, than a regular fourth line, just simply because Dylan Holloway's out there. He will get up going, and I think, again, the Oilers' plan is to have him in the top 9. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him sent down rather soon here, because the only spot for him right now is the fourth line, and that is not the Oilers' development plan for their stud first overall pick from a couple of years ago. This one played ahead to Zach Hyman. He's in on the attack again. He's going to curl around the net, and Alex Stalock, his size was almost tested twice in a row, but the Oilers caught back the other way in on the attack, and Jack Campbell beat on the breakaway, as that will be an outstretched goal there for the Hawks. That's what you don't want to do, as the Oilers get caught napping back your own way, and that's exactly what they do. Is Jack Campbell left all alone to take on Athanasiou, who's got wheels, the former Oilers. Well, the Hawks assembling the former Oilers that nobody liked, more or less, and just the Oilers cost themselves. As Darnell Nurse, I don't know what he's doing there or what he's looking for, and all of a sudden Athanasiou wheeling down the ice, gets the goal, just pure speed pressure, and what a pass out of the corner onto the tape of Athanasiou, who just goes for a skate, tucks it under the pad of Campbell, who couldn't quite seal the bottom of the net, and that will put home a Hawks 1-1 goal to tie things up. 6:40 into the first period. I cursed it, of course I did, but here we go. McLeod will win the face-off for the Oilers, and this one will be turned back in the middle of the ice in the Hawks zone, where their defense retrieves and gets it up to the neutral, where they fire it in. The Oilers bounce it off the boards and tipped up ahead to Puljujärvi, who plays it ahead off the boards. This one goes up and out of play. Nope, it's batted down instead by Bouchard. That one looked sky high. Athanasiou gets his second of the season. This one's played in. The Oilers are offside. Puljujärvi doesn't realize. Nobody realizes. Domi gets his second assist of the season. And there you go, that top line of the Hawks all of a sudden generating points. And look at this here, is 6:03 to go in this first period. The Oilers and Hawks engaged in a 1-1 battle. 5:58 time ticking down quickly here in this first period of play so far. And the Oilers see this one played ahead into their own zone, and now it'll be played there by Brett Kulak, covered by Jack Campbell. And he will freeze up and hold on to that puck. Folks, it looks like we will have another break in the action, another ad your way, and we'll do some quick math again to calculate that watch time, because that's something I'm really proud of, just how much that watch time comes into function. And right now, 14:32, which means we have already gained another 2.5 hours watched on the stream in the past since the update. Camp is in session. Well, camp ended a while ago. This commercial kind of throws me for a loop, but it is what it is. And sounds like the Canucks and Bruins have made a trade. Jack Studnicka is involved for the Vancouver Canucks, and that is an interesting get. And of course, Oilers Twitter lights up. It just had to be Athanasiou, didn't it? And now sounds like the Canucks and Bruins have made that trade as well. So we've got ourselves a busy night of action in the NHL. And what do we got? Well, if it isn't an ex-Oiler, see that I'm now getting the texts, right? That's just where we're at right now as it is. So busy night in the NHL. Obviously a lot of games going on too, but looks like now we'll see what ends up happening for the Oilers here as they're back in a tie game. Now we'll see, kinda, what we end up getting in the rest of the way home. What do we got? We got 5:46 to go in this first period. We'll see if that ends up holding up as a 1-1 score, or if it ends up being one of those situations where one of these teams is going to try and pull away the rest of the way home in this first period. We'll see what ends up happening here, that's for sure. as we've just got a laundry list of ads here in this first period. I guess kind of our guilt for starting that first 10 minutes without a break in the action. And now with 56 of you joining me aboard, we've got a feature on Andres Athanasiou, the former Oiler, the one-season Oiler who doesn't end up panning out for us in the playoffs. And now all of a sudden he gets the goal for the Hawks here in 2022's 2023's NHL campaign. Let's see what we can't get going here to start this rest of the period. And this one's going to go back to the point. Save, shot, scramble to the side of Jack Campbell, who pounces on the puck. And that was a big time save from Campbell. The point shot got through, and then he had to pounce on it and freeze it up, and he gets the job done. So the Hawks have created some traffic in front. And so far, the Oilers letting up a couple more high danger chances, I think, than they did against the Blues early on. And the Hawks up to 9 shots in 5 minutes of action left in this first period of play. 7 shots for the Oilers so far, and the Hawks win yet again. Another face-off tipped in front, blocked in front, I believe. Shot comes in from the point. That one's tipped, and Jack Campbell not getting beat on the tip there as Niemelainen's giving Dickinson the business in front, clearing him out of the crease, and now all of a sudden, maybe a little bit of pushing and shoving that's going to lead to a little bit more of an engaged battle from both teams, who now see things tied at 1 apiece after that goal by Athanasiou and the goal from Zach Hyman earlier. And man, that's the big thing for Jack Campbell. He's all of a sudden looking a little bit more comfortable in first periods the past couple games, and hopefully for the Oilers, that is a sign of things to come the rest of the season. As this puck's back along the boards, and that's exactly what I was saying, is that pushing and shoving between Niemelainen and Dickinson, is it going to be a sign of a little bit more physical engagement the rest of the way home? And it was along the end boards there. Out wide, Nugent Hopkins shoots the puck off the feed from McDavid. He can't get it to go. Offensive zone now, McDavid has it. He's battling. He gets free from the Hawks, and he's going to dipsy doodle it back to Nugent Hopkins near side point, who will leave it there for Cody Ceci, who skates in. Now McDavid loading up again. Hilton's sharp turn, edges all around. Shot one-timer, saved by Stalock. And man, McDavid eyes in the back of his head, looking for Zach Hyman on every single play for that one-timer against a undersized goalie, is I guess what we're talking about tonight in Alex Stalock. And for the Oilers, you like to see it. But here's Cody Ceci seeing this one get past him. And now back the other way, the Hawks are coming in on net. And this one's going to go back to the point, and the shot comes in, and the rebound right onto a Hawks stick, and back of the net. So right there again, that point shot gets through on Jack Campbell, and it ends up in the back of the net. And that is just the way she goes for the Oilers this season, as it is. Johnson scoring the goal for the Chicago Blackhawks. That's tough. As another good chance at one end for the Oilers. Goes back the other way, back of the net, and that's exactly what ends up happening here. As Johnson parks himself right in the blue crease. And then all of a sudden, a perfect rebound, and Jack Campbell just left scrambling as he pushes Johnson out right into position to retrieve that puck. And Campbell is beat again, and there's that average. 2 goals against in the first period, and that 1 goal lead the Oilers had just moments ago evaporates quick. After 2 offensive chances for them lead to an opportunity back the other way into the back of their net. And Johnson scores his first from, of course, you guessed it, Caleb Jones and Blackwell, who both pick up their second assist of the season. And this puck had just gone out of play into the bench, so we'll have a face-off in the neutral zone. But that is not much of an easier rebound in front to put home for a right-hand shot than that one. Only other goal was November 23rd, 2021. It's his first goal of the season, first one in almost a year. And with 4:10 to go in this first period, now the Hawks lead 2-1, 12-8 the shot. So it's not like the Hawks haven't been pounding the net early and often here in this first period, a lot more often than the Oilers so far, 2-1 kind of deal. But there comes a shot from the point for the Oilers, and this is another thing for the Oilers. They get point shots through, but it's right into the belly and swallowed up every time, whereas other teams throw it right at the pads, perfect bounces in front, and it leads to pucks going into the back of the net. But for the Oilers, they just have not been able to buy bounces in front much this season. They've gotten a couple, obviously, but not as much as it seems other teams get perfect on rebounds. And so far for the Oilers, you know what? You got to go out and create more chances if you want those bounces, and they haven't done that in the majority of the games. So now tonight, hopefully they can keep it going. Now down 2-1 here against the Hawks at the United Center in Chicago. Back the other way. McLeod's taken out, and no penalty upcoming. Bless me. And now the Oilers with 3:30 to go. Puljujarvi moves it ahead. He can't get it going there. And Puljujarvi might have actually drawn the call. Okay, never mind. I thought Puljujarvi couldn't get it going ahead, but instead that does indeed get called a trip at the Oilers' blue line. And with 3:27 to go in this first period, that power play I was talking about, the Oilers get it. And it will be a power play going for the Oilers against Jared Tenorti of the Blackhawks, who's whistled down for tripping. And he takes out Puljujarvi. I guess, you know what, he wouldn't have been guilty on the first chance, but when he got through the shin of Puljujarvi on the left leg, that's what tied him up and actually took him down. So that's unfortunate for the Hawks, who just got up to a 2-1 lead. The Oilers power play ranked 4th in the NHL, so they're behind the Hawks so far this season. And now Tyson Barrie goes across to Nugent Hopkins. Nuge back to Barrie. And here's the one-timer coming from McDavid. Pad, save, Stalock, and just by an inch. And now McDavid, another opportunity here. Barrie, the point shot, comes off the stick. And again, blocked. Barrie is just not getting that point shot through. And with 3 minutes to go in this first period, Tyson Barrie will get it up to Leon Draisaitl, who explodes through the neutral zone and gets it into the offensive end. He'll wind it around the boards. The Hawks are able to clear it down the ice, and this might be a much-needed reset for the Oilers' power play unit, and Campbell will play it off to Barrie, who should be going off the ice here shortly to get Bouchard on the ice as McDavid winds into the zone, all kinds of speed, spins off 2 checks, gets it over to Nugent Hopkins, who flips it over to Leon Draisaitl as Tyson Barrie retreats at the blue line. Now pitch and catch with Nuge and Draisaitl. Barrie now across to McDavid. McDavid looking for that nice pass to Draisaitl for the one-timer, obviously, here. Draisaitl's hanging out, waiting for it. Nugent Hopkins. Now Draisaitl's going to look for an option. He goes back to Nuge. Nuge curls it to McDavid. McDavid far circle, jammed in front. Save made again. And now back to the point. It comes 37 seconds to go on the power play. You know the Oilers want to sniff a goal here. Shot deflected in front. The Oilers can't buy a bounce. Now another chance here for it. And it's Jujhar Khaira coming up with the puck for the Hawks, and they will flip it the length of the ice for the clear with $1:50 to go in this first period of play. It is Evan Bouchard retreating. Now the second power play unit on the ice. They've got 17 seconds to work with. Evan Bouchard comes across. He will fire it onto the stick of Ryan McLeod. Puljujarvi will come across, and this is your second power play unit. You've got Kane, McLeod, and Puljujarvi, and they could not even set up zone time. So with $1:27 to go in the first period, we'll have a jumbled up third line out there trying to get something going as it's across the line. Evander Kane rushing in on net. He'll curl it in front. Puljujarvi winds the shot on the backhand off the pads of Stalock. Back the other way. Here's Athanasiou for the Hawks. $1:10 to go. 70 seconds left in this first period. And it'll be Evan Bouchard coming up with the puck, getting it back around behind his net. And now Darnell Nurse setting up, looking to get things going with exactly a minute left to play in this first period. Dylan Holloway out there loads it up. He will get it across. Derek Ryan's going to fire the shot. Save niftily there by Stalock, steering it right onto Domi's tape. And now again, Derek Ryan exploding it through his zone, trying to get this puck onto somebody's tape. And instead the Hawks grind it at the blue line and get it back down into the boards where it's played there to the Oilers stick and played by Holloway, who swallows a big hit again. And this one not as big as last time, obviously didn't get blown up, but now chance here for the Oilers to keep it on the boards. Derek Ryan off the boards now. He will get it into the middle of the boards by Yamamoto, and Holloway with 17 seconds looking to be shifty and try and create something for the Oilers in the zone. Darnell Nurse fires a shot turned away by Alex Stalock, and now the Oilers are going to see time wind down in the Hawks' end as Holloway looks to go back to the point. He's going to see Darnell Nurse fire a shot blocked in front. Rebound goes to the front of the net briefly before it's blocked away, and Alex Stalock, my friends, has a solid start to this game. 2-1 after one period of play between the Oilers and Hawks tonight. Folks, thank you so much for choosing Dolynny TV, but that is indeed going to do it all for me. Like I said, I've got a lot of adult responsibilities to take care of tonight. It's all fun and games to mess around and live stream hockey on YouTube, but as it is right now, friends, this is where we're at. We are up and done for tonight's game. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Tyson, this is Dolynny TV. Enjoy the rest of the game. We'll talk in the post game. I'm up on